Hi, this is Brooke and Adam from Imaginary Lemons, and today we are staying in a one-bedroom suite here at the Marriott Pinnacle in Vancouver,
British Columbia.
British Columbia. We are here for a Disney cruise to Alaska that is sailing out of Vancouver. And this happens to be one of two hotels where Disney offers a shuttle or transportation transfers to the port. The port is actually only about 5 blocks or so from here,
way.
But that's a long way to
drag
your luggage, especially when
with,
you overpack like we did.
Yes, you'll see.
If you stay tuned to our channel, you will see our full Alaska cruise review if you're interested. But today we want to talk about the Marriott Pinnacle downtown in Vancouver because this is one of the hotels, like I said, that you can get the transfer. Now, typically in Orlando and other Florida ports, you mark that you need a wheelchair lift, and they ensure that one of the buses that comes to get you has a wheelchair lift on the bus. They do it a little differently here. They only have the one ship coming out, and it's only once a week, and so they don't have dedicated buses. And instead, they actually, if you say that you need to stay in your wheelchair and you can't walk up the bus stairs, they will hire a taxi to take you to the port. Which is
a little bit, like Brooke said, different than how other trips we've done, and so it'll be interesting to see what kind of little minivan we get to take us to the port. But
van, not minivan like at Disney World. But yes, what kind of accessible van? So we booked a standard wheelchair accessible room, and we were upgraded to a suite, and it is quite the upgrade. If we were staying here for more than a day, it would be quite the experience for sure. You know, the fact that we're only staying here one night probably increased the odds of the upgrade, but nonetheless, here we are. So we're going to take you on a bit of a tour of the room. We know how important it is to be able to see, when you're a wheelchair user, you really need to be able to see the room to understand whether it's going to work for you. Now, this room has a tub, not a roll-in shower. Adam's a power chair user. He is a C2 incomplete quadriplegic, and so we absolutely prefer a roll-in shower. Since this is only going to be one night, we'll make it work. I've actually found that it was pretty difficult to find roll-in shower rooms in Vancouver. I checked a couple different hotels, and they either didn't have them or they had them, but they were on club level, and so you had to pay club level prices for the room.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And you know, for example, the popular hotel at the pier, they only have one, and it's club level, and so it's quite expensive.
Quite expensive, yeah. That was especially for one night for us, because we're going to like to travel a day ahead. That was, I think, not really worth the price.
So if you're coming to Vancouver, that is something to be aware of. Roll-in showers may be hard to come by. For other, sometimes they can give you a shower transfer bench if that works for you, but it is a little tricky to find a roll-in shower here in Vancouver as far as I can find. So we're going to take you on a little tour, show you what the room is like, so that if you're ever thinking about booking one of these rooms and you're in a wheelchair, you know what to expect.
If you want to book a room similar to this, or just looking for advice and options for any Disney trip or anywhere, you can reach out to Brooke. She is more very knowledgeable about what to expect and what options are available for people in our situations. So when you reach out to her, she'll look at all the options and give you everything you need to make sure your trip and your experience is very enjoyable.
Absolutely, because we know you can't play with the accessibility needs. So you want somebody who, if it's not me, you still want somebody who really understands accessibility when you're booking. So that out of the way, let us go on a tour.
Well, welcome to our room. This is a suite, accessible suite here at the Marriott Pinnacle downtown. As you can see, our luggage is a lot. And so as you come into the room a little bit further in, you have a nice size living room with all of the space you can need. The carpet is pretty decent, but doesn't fight against you too much, but it is carpeted floors, which some wheelchair users prefer hardwood floors instead of the carpet floors. The normal under this room stuff, you have your regular beverage cooler or chiller instead of a refrigerator. Drawers are all standard and normal. They're pretty easy to open. They're not that heavy like in some other places. Just got to get your finger in there, and pretty light. Ice bucket, so on. So that's all standard stuff.
Next we come into the bedroom. So this is a king bed. There are dressers on both sides, or nightstands rather, on both sides. and this is a king bed. In this room, there are some standard plugs on either side of the room. On this side, they're in the wall, and then there are some on an alarm clock on the other side. You do also have a television in here, 3 more drawers, and a closet. They do include some robes here for your use as well as slippers. So that's a very nice touch. Let's go into the bathroom. The bathroom is not connected to the bedroom. That is one downside of this room. But I'm sure they did that for space purposes. So now, let's go into the bathroom. Let's go into the bathroom. As I said, this is a tub room. And so on this side, it's pretty typical, except there is, of course, the grab bars. You have a shower head that does lower. It goes pretty low, so depending on your needs there. And then you have the tub here, and they do have a grippy mat as well as shower amenities on the wall.
Not H2O.
Coming around, the toilet, different grab bar setup than we're used to. The grab bar is on the side, and there's one on either side, so that is interesting. And then you have a roll under sink. Of course, we have to move that thing, but you do have a roll under sink here. And hello, that's me. Now, what might be the fanciest thing about this room is that it has its own balcony,
Which is quite spacious. It almost reminds me of an aft balcony on a ship because it wraps around so much, but it is quite large.
Zoom out a little bit and see here. So, we are still going. We are still going. So as you can see, the balcony wraps.
Don't go too far, Brooke. You'll get lost.
Around the room. Ooh, that's a big
Hi,
bird.
Mr.
I do
Crow.
not like birds. Big scary bird. I do not like birds. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Now, there are actually openings from the bedroom as well. However, I could not get that door open, so there's that. The locks are pretty difficult on these,
You can see out
honestly.
the harbor right there.
Now, out here, you can actually see out the harbor, and we did see a cruise ship just a bit ago go past here. So theoretically, you can see, if you time it right, you can see your cruise ship coming into harbor from this spot. These are the room knobs. You actually turn this to lock it, and so this is why I found this pretty tricky. So I'm sure there's a system to it, but nope, I'm gonna need 2 hands for that one. But anyway, it's pretty hard to open.
One thing about this room that's not quite accessible are the curtains and blinds. There are no grabby hooks on them, and they're pretty high, even for they're almost at least 6 feet, because it's pretty high up. And so, as you see, if you may have to have issues trying to close the blinds, open the blinds in the morning. But otherwise, overall, it looks pretty spacious in here. A lot of chairs, a lot of room to spread out. So, yeah.
As we usually try to do with our room tours, once we've stayed here a night, we will come and update this. But so far, we're pretty pleased with the room.
Yes, so far it looks pretty nice. The view of the harbor out the window looks pretty good. We're on the fifth floor. This has 31 floors, which is pretty high.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. It looks pretty nice. So we should have an enjoyable evening.
And those high floors don't have that kind of balcony, so you
Just
get
be
that.
aware. Yes. Good morning. It's the next day, and we're ready.
Yes.
Are you ready?
We are, but let's talk about this hotel.
Okay.
So, a couple of things that we discovered after we left you. One, the bathroom door has I have a lot of feelings about bathroom door. So the bathroom door is a little hard to open sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
So just, be aware of that. I myself got a little stuck at one point and had to lean into it. But talk about the bathroom.
The bathroom is a little bit tight for a wheelchair. So, unfortunately, I have to leave the door open as time when I get in because it's not enough space to maneuver around inside of the bathroom. So if you are with someone, they may have to help you close the door or just leave it open as you go. Other than that, I think that was the main one of the main problems I saw with the bathroom. Just basically the tightness of the room. It's you can get in there, you can do your business, you can like get your grab bars and all that stuff. They work well, but it's just the small tightness of the room.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Like you couldn't turn around and
I
stuff.
couldn't turn around inside there not with my wheelchair. So
Which has a pretty tight turn radius.
yes, and it's a little bit smaller than a standard size medical. I'm not medical.
Power chair.
Standard power chair. So just be aware of that if you do decide to get this room. Yeah.
Absolutely. So in terms of the fact that our upgrade, it was nice having this extra space. I ended up needing to rearrange luggage, and it was nice to have the extra floor space to do that.
Yeah.
The room does come with club level access, which is nice. However, the club is upstairs and it's not wheelchair accessible.
Yeah.
So they gave us vouchers for free breakfast at their restaurant to compensate. So if you're in that situation and you do get a suite, make sure that you talk to them about options if you can't get to the club. We are grabbing a quick breakfast before we head out to the ship. They have an omelet bar, and I got breakfast potatoes that look really yummy and crispy, and a grilled tomato, and coffee that is included. But otherwise, it was a good stay. Would you stay here again?
Yes, I would stay here again. The balcony was great. It's like nice views outside. But yes, I would stay here again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So now we got to go get our cab and head to the airport. Or not the airport. Good Lord, where are we going? Now we
gotta
have
go to the ship first.
Now we have to go get in our cab and head to the ship. So
all right.
We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Bye.